Hi everyone, thanks for coming. Um, Great to see everyone again. I am here this time to tell you kind of my experiences of what happens after you sign your legal contract on your journey to become a surrogate. So, it's my kitty. Um, I think he wants out, but he's gonna wait a minute. So, and I wanted things to move quickly because I'm not a very patient person. So, um, sometimes, for whatever reason, you might want to delay it a month or two, but I wanted it done like ASAP. So, Princeton, come here, Prince. Yeah, I know, buddy. So, I got the contract signed like, well, I think it was a week before, but they need to take it back and go over it and make sure it's signed properly. That everybody signed it, and then they send a letter out to the agency and the clinic to say that the contracts have been signed. So once the contracts have been signed, then you move on to getting ready for transfer, which is exciting. So in that, I let them know when my period was, my day one, and they're going to ask, let me know when your day one is. So I did that. And on day two, I went in for what I ended up having was blood work, and just one tube this time, not the 15 that we had last time or however many it was. Um, so not quite as scary. Um, but then I also had an ultrasound. Now the main thing that they're looking in that is to check your lining. And my lining was 6 millimeters, which was a good start. It was completely normal and healthy at that stage of my period. So, as kind of gross as that was, because it's messy, because they do an internal one and they're very uncomfortable. And I much prefer the ones that are outside, except in those ones you have to have a full bladder. So you can't win. Being a woman just kind of sucks sometimes. But I found that it didn't hurt. It just wasn't really uncomfortable at times because they're pressing down really hard. They want to see your ovaries for some reason. And it just felt like they were, I don't know, I could feel it in my uterus, but I could feel it in my back. So I had a lot of back pain, which makes me nervous I'm going to have back labor because I've heard that's really bad. Hopefully not. We'll see. Hopefully not. So I did that, and then I went to the waiting room and I waited and I saw the doctor, and he said, well, everything looks good and we're ready for transfer. So or not transfer, for the second lining check, which happens about a week later. So um, that was fine. We set that up, and um, then after that, there wasn't really, I don't really understand the purpose of the doctor in that sense because we really didn't talk about much of anything. He made sure that I didn't have any questions, but I'm like, at this point in the stage, I didn't have questions. I'm sure I will coming up, and I'll explain why. And then I saw the nurse. So the nurse is the one who kind of helps you with your medication. So she made sure that I was already on a prenatal. So if I wasn't, I was to start that. But I already was because I'm very proactive in those kind of things. If I know that this is something that's going to happen or should happen, I took prenatals with all of my children. So I'm going to take prenatals with my surrogacy journey because especially with folic acid. And then the one I picked has omegas, so I just wanted to make sure that I got it. This is gonna be as healthy as it can get, this baby. So they also started me on, I think it's estrogen or estrance or something, 3 times a day. They say with meals, but I try to, but I don't always remember to take it with a meal, so sometimes I have to take it after. And then because apparently that thickens the blood, you have to take a low dose aspirin, which is the 81 milligram once a day. Most people who take that are seniors who have some heart conditions or they need to thin out their blood for whatever reason, just to make sure they don't have a stroke or a heart attack. But I guess because the medication thickens your blood, and this kind of counteracts that part of things. And I am also on a thyroid medication because I have hypothyroidism. Low, yeah, hypo. Sometimes I have to think about that. So I also needed to make sure that I was on a good dose of that. So they upped it from my 0.88 to 100. So that was interesting. It wasn't that it was horrible. It wasn't bad even, but I guess with all the medications and everything they're going to put me on, it could put me at risk of my thyroid being not healthy. So I had to make sure that I was taking that as well. So that's what they do on that visit. Okay, so then I'm a little behind here, and I know I should have done some videos before. That was pretty easy. Easy peasy. That was day 2 of my period. You can come in day 2, maybe day 3, but they really like it like really early in your period after you've had like a full day period. And mine started fairly early in the day, not right away, but fairly early. So, um, so 1 week later, I went back, and you pretty much do the whole thing again. So I went in and I signed up for the blood work, and I signed up to have the ultrasound. I had the ultrasound first. Now, these ones are kind of funny. Maybe it's because they're internal, but both times they had me empty my bladder. Usually you go for an ultrasound, you think, no, full bladder. But these ones, they want you to empty it. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse or an ultrasound tech, so I don't really know why, but puppy dog. They have you empty it, so that's fine. I'd much prefer empty than full anyways. I think most of us would. Bella. Anyways, so I did that, and I had the ultrasound, and they do the exact same thing. They even had me hold down where my ovaries would be so that they could see them better, which I think is really weird because they're not using my eggs. There's an egg donor that my intended parents have gotten, and so they're not my eggs, which is, the way I would prefer it. I can't have my baby out there in the world. And then I got the blood work done, which again was only 1 tube, so it was quick and easy. And then I waited quite a bit longer this time, but I waited and I saw the doctor, and he said everything looks good. Oh, what was it? I think it was 9.5 my lining grew to, which isn't bad. It's within normal. As long as it's above, like 8 or above, then you're good. So it's 9.5. So he approved me for a transfer. So we are coming up, well, I'll step back. So transfer is then about 5 to 7 days after that appointment. So based on that, I'm going to transfer the day after Family Day, which is 5 days from the day I saw the doctor. And so the date was arranged, but they're going to call me on the day before to let me know what time. I know, Prince. To tell me what time that I have to go in. It's kind of scary because I say the OR, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Are they going to put me out? Are they going to like inject me with all these things? Because I've never done this before, I didn't really know what to expect. But apparently it's quick and easy. You're in and out in 5 minutes, and that's good because I have to drive home. So that was fine. We set that up with the doctor. And then I again saw the nurse. So the nurse this time had a lot of new news. So when you've done your second lining check, when you're 1 week from, 5 to 7 days before transfer, are you coming up, buddy? Then she's given you another list of medications to take. So I take the thyroid and all my other medications. The estrace, I don't know what it is. I think it's estrogen though. Sorry, he's being a little bad. Well, not bad, just restless. And then you're going to continue taking that 3 times a day, preferably with food, so at each meal. And then you're going to continue your aspirin, your prenatal vitamins, and this is when it starts. So bring your medication with you to your appointment, which I didn't know, so I didn't bring it, which wasn't good, and I should have brought it. I just didn't realize that. Why do they send it out if they're just going to ask for you to bring it back with you? But whatever, that's not my call. So they're going to give you progesterone in oil, and this is the hardest part of, well, pretty well the hardest part of all of this, because for the next, at least until transfer, but I have a feeling it'll be after transfer as well, I have to take, where is it? I don't have my glasses on so it doesn't reflect, but 100 milligrams or micrograms maybe, 2 mils IM in the buttocks once daily. So I have a wonderful daughter who is a nurse, so I allow and begged her to do it for me because it's really awkward to get there. If you can get a friend to do it or a family member, that would be so much more ideal. So if they can come to the appointment, she's a nurse, she didn't have to, but oh yeah, you're not allowed at appointments because of dang, that C word. I don't know. If you can try to get someone who you can teach to do it, then that would be great. I did tell her how to do it because the nurse told me, because it's a little higher, it seems, than the average injection. So every morning I get an injection. Rumor has it they're going to last 3 months. I'm really hoping they're not, but I have a feeling they will. And then today, on this Saturday, because I'm doing this on Saturday, I had to take 1 tablet 2 times daily with food. So they give you 6 pills of doxycycline. I'm not good at medication pronunciation, but I'll get better. As well as 1 tablet 4 times a day for Medrol. Not exactly sure what they are, but they're supposed to help the lining hold on to that embryo. So I started all of that, and in 3 days I go to get my transfer. I'm just making sure there's nothing else. So they also tell you, they give you a paper. I don't want to give out too much information, but they give you like a paper of different tests and these, or not tests, but medications, and tell you what you need to do. I guess you know my clinic now, whatever. Just making sure there's not identifying information on that other than me. So a week and a half later, you have to go get blood work to find out what your levels are, to see if you're pregnant, to see if it's stuck. So they also give you your blood work paper. Well, they give it to me because I live 2 hours from the clinic, and just to go get blood work, it doesn't make sense that I go all the way out to the clinic. So a lot, especially with that big C, we are doing a lot more local and just sending things in. So that is preferred. So, oh wow, they have it very specific. I didn't even realize she wrote a time on it. She wants me to go February 28th at 9:15 a.m. So I guess that's what I'll do. So just gives you a little bit more instruction on there, but that's pretty much it. So now it's a waiting game until Tuesday when I go in for my transfer, and I'll do another video to tell you how that goes. I won't wait as long this time, I'm so sorry. And we'll continue. I'm going to go let the cat out. Yes, I'm going to go let you out. So if you want to follow my journey, my Canadian surrogacy journey, then hit subscribe, ring the bell if you want to be notified when I upload more content. And until next time, take care, God bless.